Women, worship his semen as it represents the masculine life force. And men, worship her menstrual blood as it represents the feminine life force. Now, when you hear these words, worship the semen, worship the blood, and you think, ew, that is gross, I want you to take a step back and think about who taught you that that is something that is gross. And if they taught you that, and not just a person, but talking about culture, society, domestication, think about how feeling that this natural thing that is in all of us, that is excreted from all of us, think about how teaching the other that this is something that's gross and nasty and should be treated as such is a way to control. A way to control the life force, a way to control us by perpetuating shame on our own bodies, on our own life force. Back in ancient societies, in ancient temples, they would pray and worship the bleeding yoni. They would pray and worship and put semen on the altars, because these are things that represent the creation of life. Hello, powerful beings. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. You are most welcome in this sacred and safe space with me. My name is Maya, and I'm a shamanic practitioner, and I am here to help us heal the shame of our bodies that were gifted to us by society and culture, and help us to heal shame around our sexuality and to really reclaim our sexual power. So in this video, we are going to talk about worshiping the semen and worshiping the menstrual blood in order to hopefully inspire, reclamation of these very natural and very powerful life force symbols, let's say, but also in physical reality, this literally is the essence of life. So when you listen to this, I invite openness and curiosity. You may think, what is this crazy fucking woman saying? And that's okay. I realize I am a little crazy. I take ownership of that. But I want you to question, when triggers start to come up and you start to feel like, I don't know, whatever you're feeling in your aliveness, question yourself of, why do I feel so much triggers towards sexuality, towards menstrual blood and semen? Like, where does this trigger even come from? Like, who taught me this? Because if I was created by semen and the womb and the egg, and menstrual blood is necessary for life, if I was created this way, why is this something that grosses me out? So I invite you to really look into the sensations that arise in your body as you listen to this conversation. And then by the end of the conversation, once you've listened thoroughly, let me know your comments and below. Like, let's have an open-hearted discussion. I'm not here to judge anyone, shame anyone, say what is right or wrong. I'm just here to help remind us that these are our body, that blood and semen is our life force, and that, I'm kind of over this whole narrative of sexuality being something evil and gross and whatever. And I'm like kind of ready for a world where we're all just embracing life, where women free bleed on the earth and we honor the semen and we're not shaming cocks and pussies anymore. I'm really wanting that kind of world where it's the full moon and the women are ovulating and everybody's having a fucking orgy, because that's what they used to do, at least in Celtic tribes. So that's the world I'm wanting, and these little videos maybe help create little nuggets of that world everywhere. So enjoy the video, let me know what you think. When we have shame over our own bodies, we're giving our power away. When we're treating ourselves and something that comes from us as gross, we're giving our power away. And so I really invite you to begin to reprogram how you look at these natural things in life. So the blood, let's begin there, the menstrual blood. This blood goes through the channels in which all life emerges, all human life. All humans have come from the mysteries of the womb space, have grown in here, and then moved through the canals, through the yoni. Unless you've gone through a C-section, then you haven't gone through the yoni, but you still came from the womb. All life comes from there. So, by shaming a woman for her blood, for her menstrual blood, by making her feel less than, there are actually some temples in India, for example, where they don't allow women to come in when she's bleeding, and there's some people who believe that when a woman is bleeding, she's considered dirty. But a woman could not have given life to you if she wasn't a bleeding woman. The Holy Mother is a bleeding woman. So worship women when they are bleeding, for they experience an immense amount of pain. They experience a rotting to the earth. They have no energy when they're doing that. So how you can worship a woman when she's bleeding? You treat her pussy as an altar that you should gift flowers and chocolates and bring offerings to. Prayers should be said to her yoni, for it gives life, it births life. Her blood is one of the most powerful things on this planet. So you take care of her. You protect her as she is in her weakest moment of the month. You give to her foods and offerings. Back in tribal times, the women would gather in the red tents together, and the men would bring offerings to those tents and feed and nourish the women, for they were too weak. Not by spirit weak, but physically it is their time that they need to rest, because they are literally giving and shedding that month, that time of the month. So if your lovely woman is a tantric woman, she practices tantra or shamanism and she's really into that, then yeah, offer to put her blood, have her anoint you with her blood, putting her blood on the third eye if she wants to, or offering to put her blood on the altar and to pray, offering to pray to her bare yoni, to give thanks, to give worship. Now, if she's on the scale of not being woo-woo and wanting those kind of ritualistic practices, then you can just honor her by giving her, doing for her what she needs when she's in her time of bleed. Taking care of her, loving her, listening to her. If she's complaining, if she's bitchy, you don't take it personally, because she's bleeding and she has hormones raging. And you may not, in male bodies, understand what that's like when a woman goes through that. So all you can do is be present, not take it personally, and be loving. I remember a little story when I was younger. It was, one of the first times I was getting my menstruation, and I couldn't drive at the time because I was too young. And I needed tampons, and my father, he was the only one home. My mom wasn't home. And he was like, I will not go and get you tampons. And no shame to my father for having this sort of ideology, because he was taught this. He was taught that this was something that it was a woman's thing, he had nothing to do with, and it was very emasculating to go and buy tampons for his daughter. And he said, I would never do that. I don't want to be involved. There's so much shame there, right? Shame around the menstruation. But once we begin to shift our ideology and actually celebrate this as sacred and holy and the life-giving to all of us humans, and actually many mammals have menstruation. Your dog before she gets her womb and her ovaries taken away. She goes through menstruation. It's a very natural thing, right? Once we begin to shift our ideology, then the men, when you learn to celebrate women when they're on their bleed, and so if you have a bleeding woman at your workplace, at school, at whatever, and begin to treat her with sacredness, like what your body is going through is the reason why we're able to bring life and bring humanity on this planet. And so to treat her with generosity and kindness, rather than push her to be in her masculine and work super hard and do all the things when she's meant to literally be resting in the time of her bleed. So once we're able to understand the differences in the male and female bodies, then we can coexist as a tribe, as a society better. And wow, how beautiful it would be if the men go out to the stores and know what tampons to buy us women, so that we don't have to go out to those stores, or the men can actually support if us women want to free bleed on the earth and let ourselves just release as we're naturally supposed to. So that is on menstruation. Let's get to the semen talk. So for my women listening, while we should encourage our men to begin to honor our blood, our sacred blood, we also need to honor their sacred seed. Okay? I know a lot of men and women who are grossed out by semen. But this semen carries the seed, right? The seed that then is implanted in the womb, and all life then emerges. And so when he releases his seed, he's releasing a lot of nutrients and energy and his life force when he ejaculates. He's literally giving his energy. Just like women, when we're bleeding, we're giving our life force and energy to the earth. And then also when we're creating a child and we're pregnant, we're also literally giving all of our life force to create that life. But for men, when they're ejaculating, their life force is then gifted. So that's why men can feel really tired after ejaculation. So honoring his semen as the seed of life and realizing that this isn't something that's disgusting. This is something that carries power. So much power, just like the blood, but in a different way. This is the masculine power. So on honoring the sacred semen, on worshiping the semen. So I have asked many of my male being friends, those with cock owning, maybe not all of them identify as male, but my cock owning friends, and from very tantric, very woo-woo, very spiritual, to not at all. And from that whole spectrum, the consensus that all of them gave me was, it's not about what their partner does, it's about how they receive it. And if they show that there is non-acceptance, if it's something gross, icky, something to get rid of, if there's any sort of negative reaction that perpetrates shame, that's not ideal. They don't like that. It actually, on a deep level, like maybe a lot of these men might not even be aware, but on a very deep level, it can be very painful and shameful. So many men out there who are not aware of the power of their own cock and the power of their semen, because society has shamed sexuality so much and shamed creation so much as a form of control, that many men even think of their own fluids as disgusting, gross, and something to get rid of. I ask you all who's listening to this to choose to show up differently, to bring in loving acceptance for this powerful seed, and the role that it plays in creation. So according to Tao Tantra, a man, when he ejaculates, he loses like 32 to 48 hours of energy. Those might not be the exact numbers, but he loses a lot of energy every time he ejaculates. 32 to 48 hours equivalent. So he may be very tired, but also his life force, he gave away some of his life force. So it's going to take time to call that back in and to rejuvenate on an energetic level. And so if you're a male cock-owning being watching this and you ejaculate a couple times a week, I would really encourage you to start looking at semen retention. You can look at Mantak Chia. He is a grand master in Taoism, and he talks a lot about semen retention for vitality. Taoism is all about reserving that sexual energy. So different video. I also have some videos talking about this. So if you do practice semen retention, you probably already hold some level of sacredness to your semen because you only do it every so often. So if you are the one who does practice semen retention, then I invite you to, when you do ejaculate, you don't have shame for that, because I know some men who would be like, fuck, I was not supposed to ejaculate and I did, and I feel really shameful about it, I couldn't hold it, whatever. To honor when your ejaculation does come out, when your semen does want to come out, and to honor that, and to not shame yourself and be like, fuck this. And then for those who don't practice semen retention, you may see your semen a lot, but to still treat it with sacredness, not something to just kind of like wipe and throw away and put it down the toilet. Like, just take a moment with this powerful life force. And if you do ejaculate on yourself, say you're masturbating alone, I invite you to breathe in your life force back into your body as the semen is on you, and then also say thank you, semen, for the life that you give, for the seed that you offer. So that's for men to practice individually. But now, speaking to women or other beings who pleasure a cock. So if you are initially disgusted by his semen, and I'm also kind of speaking to this about menstruation blood as well, so this kind of goes both with semen and blood. If you're initially disgusted, ask to just start softly with a trusted partner. When they do ejaculate, or if in the case of a female body, if they bleed, then ask to just gently touch the blood or semen. Just get to know it. Just explore. And if you notice any gross sensations, just breathe through that and say, hey, I'm sorry if I have initial gross reactions to this. It's because I was taught differently and this is not normal, but I'm choosing to show up and to work through this. And so if you reassure them, then they know that you're not coming from an ill intent space, and they will less likely take the disgusting vibe a lot less. So yeah, just touch it, play with it, maybe taste it a little, both menstruation blood and semen. Maybe you both taste it together. Maybe you both play with it together. I had a man who was really into menstruation blood, and I had no shame about it, which I really, really loved to make love with him. I felt very safe to be with a man like that, who didn't think that my body, my female body, was gross. And he loved to paint my body with my blood, and loved to go down on me. So sexy, so beautiful, like a man who can take ownership with that. So with women, or those pleasuring cocks, like, yeah, get associated, get to know it, and start to heal that disgusting feeling you have, and it will heal. So yeah, play with it, maybe rub it on your skin, or yeah. And if he ejaculates in a condom, then ask him, hey, like, before you throw that away, like, I want to honor that this is, you know, something that you just offered and you released. So maybe put your hand in it and rub it on your skin, or rub it on your face. If he ejaculates on you, on your face, on your body, instead of you know, him running and going and getting the towel, or you say, get the towel, ew, ew, ew. Just be like, just be together. Just be together with it. Hold each other, or show him, like, rub it on your body. Show him that this is not something that grosses you out. And I bet a lot of men would like it if you just lick it, or, you know, get a little kinky with it. Most men, I guarantee, would like that. If he ejaculates in your mouth, a way to honor it is by swallowing. He gave you his life force. Swallow it, bring it in. If you know that you don't like swallowing, tell him that before you even get in the bedroom, or right before you go down. Let him know that, so that he knows that it's not something about his own semen, but it's just something that's a personal boundary to you. And of course, be careful of any sort of STDs that can get transmitted when doing this. So please also have a conversation about STDs before you even enter the bedroom. I have a whole video on that, so be safe out there. But yeah, spitting it out can feel kind of hurtful. Like, he may not know that on his first couple layers that it hurts, but somewhere deep inside and to his cock will actually feel like, ooh, like, what is it about me that's so disgusting and so wrong, right? It gives that whole feeling of wrong. And everything around controlling sexuality has been this like fucking religious trauma around this shit is so wrong. So we're here to heal that. And so for my super tantric folks, my super spiritual weirdos out there, if he ejaculates outside your body, whether in a condom or on your body or something, you can actually put it in a chalice, and you can put it on the altar, and you can have him stand there with his cock, with the semen on the altar, light a candle, and like get on your knees and worship the divine masculine. Worship the seed. Worship this beautiful gift, this power, this seed of life that has been given to you. And pray to all the cock-owning beings out there for all the seeds that have been created, as that has literally made humanity. If we're only being specific to the divine masculine that is in humanity. But if we're talking about all animals and all mammals and stuff, let's honor all the seeds, the pollens, and all of the seeds. Something powerful you can do is mix the menstrual blood and the semen together in a beautiful concoction and anoint each other. So bringing it to the third eye, or putting it maybe on the heart chakra is great, and doing a prayer of sacred union of the masculine and feminine life force and putting that on your altar. Okay, powerful being, I realize that this video may have been just a little bit chaotic. I didn't really plan it that much. I just kind of sat here and started talking. So I have a lot more to say on this topic, and I think I'll add maybe more videos, maybe specifically about women and menstruation blood, and specifically about men and semen and all that. I already have some videos about men and semen and all of that you can check out. So yeah, there's more to this conversation. There's more ritualistic ideas and all that, and I would love to know if you have any beautiful ritualistic ideas. Like, share them in the comments, help inspire people. Yeah, you can create your own rituals. It's not some like fucking traditional thing step by step that you have to follow. Like, follow what is alive and true in you, and yeah, what feels good. So I would love to know what you all think, and yeah, see you in the next video. Please subscribe, as it helps this channel, and check out my online courses. I got a lot of juicy stuff like orgasmic breath and shamanic journeying into the heart and like a bunch of cool things. So check that out, and otherwise I'll see you in the next video. Oh, if you're interested in one-on-one shamanic coaching, especially if you're someone who has watched this video and realized, fuck, I got a lot of layers of guilt and shame around my sexuality and around my body, then perhaps my shamanic coaching might be something for you, or if it's not for you, then maybe I can help direct you to someone who could be in service to you. We're all really just here to help and guide you and to give you love and to help you drop deeper into the divinity in yourself and the love in yourself. So, all right, you can check out all the information in the description below. This is my sister's dog. He's my little nephew. He doesn't always like me, but today he likes me, which is really exciting. Okay. You can see he just wants to be here with me as we film.